Okay, everyone, let's look at the behavioral interview questions. I graded, I liked, for the most part, what you all were saying, some of your examples. I did give full credit because I felt like questions one were springed upon you. You didn't know really what they were to practice. And that was the whole point. It was to practice. It was to have that initial, oh my God, what am I doing? So let's go through them. And I'm just going, and I hope you take what I'm saying to heart and you go back later. I know it's finals week, really we're finishing up week 7.5. But I hope at a later date you will remember what we're talking about here. And I don't know if I honestly don't remember if they were the same order for everybody. So let's just look at the first one here. Tell me about a time when you had to be very strategic in order to meet all of your top priorities. Some of you just gave it generic, I had to work I think one example was two hospital rooms or wings or hallways, and you had a hard time making it happen. But what they're looking for in this type of a question, and remember, it's different when you're typing. I didn't count typos or any of that. A time that I had to be very strategic was when, and you give your example, but when you're giving the example, be strategic in your example for them. I've seen that even in the that form you're doing every week, and you're adding on. Some of you, it had this past week, it had the action plan and methods. Some of you are just very vague, very generic, and others are very spot on. I'm going to read 5 times a week for 20 minutes. I'm going to practice, blah, blah, blah. You are very specific. So when answering this one, tell me about a time you had to be very strategic in order to meet all of your top priorities. A time I had to be very strategic was as a CNA we were shorthanded and I had to cover 2 hallways, which was approximately X amount of patients. This involved feeding them, cleaning them, bathing them, drying them, whatever it is. I had to really figure out how much time I had for the overall task. I had to look at the patients. Some may have required more care, more time than others. So I had to know who were the ones that I could, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and which ones were going to take 15 or 20 per patient without someone feeling like they were not getting the proper attention. So I had to be very strategic. I had to work smart. I had to be very organized. I had to make sure I had the supplies I needed so I didn't have to keep running back. I had to keep an eye on the clock. Sometimes people want to have more of my time, but I had to very quickly stay on task without hurting feelings. I was able to accomplish everything that needed to be accomplished without compromising customer service or patient care and meeting my deadline. I learned a lot from this task or this, whatever you want to call it. This opportunity was definitely a growth opportunity in time management. And it showed me what skills I'm really good at and which ones I needed to focus on fine-tuning a little bit more. But I do welcome all opportunities as growth opportunities. So with that question, I hope you heard how I was trying to build it on a positive while showcasing my strengths. I talked about time management, customer service. So again, you'll know your industry and what's important to them. I'm sure the one that I just used, customer care patient care is top priority. So, excuse me, it's been a long day. So think about being very strategic in your answer. Let's look at this next one. Tell me about a time when you made sure a customer was pleased with your service. You know, I take customer service very seriously, so it's really hard to say or to explain just one time because that's something I strive for every time I work with someone. But an example that comes to mind is I had, and I'm just going to kind of go with this scenario, or no, let me come up with a new one. I had a mother shopping with 5 children, 4 shoes during back to school time. Very stressful situation for the mother. Not so much fun for the children because it's back to school season and everybody's shopping for shoes. I had to quickly pull out all my skill sets, my rapport building to figure out what they liked, their sizes, engage them in conversation to help control the fidgeting and calm the mother's nerves, try to, sometimes we have children who want more expensive than what's in the family budget and try to please both the mom's budget and the child what they want to still be trendy. So I was able to listen to mom, what she was doing, or able to, accomplish on this shopping trip with 5 rowdy boys. And I was able to listen to what they wanted and bring them the colors they wanted, the styles they wanted. A couple times, one or two, as the olders wanted something that was outside of the budget, and I was able to really help mom, side with mom, and build up how this shoe was still a very trendy shoe. It's what everybody was asking for, so that the child thought they were really getting the number one it thing, but yet, and mom was getting what her pocketbook needed. So I know mom was very satisfied, extremely satisfied with the service I delivered. I was able to get all 5 kids' shoes for back to school within her budget. All 5 children were happy with their purchases. They all left happy, their stress was relieved. We worked within mom's budget and everybody was happy. So that was the time that I really enjoyed. I always enjoy my job, but just being able to help alleviate stress and anxiety is something that I enjoy. So with that one, I'm grasping, your industry, where you're going with it, but be, again, very detailed. Paint the picture. So that's why I said rowdy boys, 5 of them, back to school. We know what back to school is like, anybody who's been a parent. We know what it's like to have a child that demands the coat. I remember shopping for winter coats at American Eagle one year. My son, my baby family, wanted a yellow coat. There was one that was, I want to say, $50, and another one that was like $150. And he wanted the $150. And even the salesman, who was a young kid, was trying to talk him into the $50 one because I was buying 2 other coats. I'm like, oh my God. It was like my whole paycheck going for winter coats that he did lose right away. And I still let him remember that. I won't let him forget it. So that's kind of where you're going with that one. But stress the customer service, your commitment to customer service, and active listening, reading body language. I kind of tried to say I brought the colors they wanted, try to paint a picture with that one. Tell me about a time you set a goal for yourself. How did you go about ensuring you would meet the objective? Do not use your school goal. Now, again, this is going back to what value do you bring to your employer? So think about what you've done, what's on your resume, some of those key things. Look at your resume, some of those key accomplishments, the quantifiable things, bring them up here. So tell me about a time you set a goal for yourself. How did you ensure you would meet your objective? Prior to going on vacation, I wanted to make sure something. Maybe some pending projects were completed. I'm sorry, guys. It's a mid-afternoon. I am tired. But try not to use school. Try to use some work examples, or maybe a goal. Again, using a work example is, I'm just going to pick on you accountants. I haven't done an accounting one. As I was working on, I don't know, QuickBooks, Excel, I gave myself a goal. I was going to learn to use one new feature that I did not know how to use with the software program each week. I was going to master it. And so I would come to work 15 minutes early, or I would work, take only half my lunchtime to actually leave my desk to eat and come back and spend the other 30 minutes working on developing this new skills that I wanted to learn for the week. And how did you go back and show? And again, that's how did you ensure you are meeting that objective? You just built into your calendar time to develop it or to work on it. You set a date with yourself. So something like that. Maybe if you don't have it's a personal improvement to show them that, again, you have value, you want to bring it to the job. And I guess I'm going way too long on this. I just saw I'm at 11 minutes. So let me scoot along here. Tell about your proudest professional accomplishment. Go back to your key accomplishments and grab one of those. But also talk about, don't just say me. Maybe be able to wrap into, this was not just a personal professional accomplishment. It was also an accomplishment for everyone that I work with. By ensuring safety, quality control, whatever it is you got the award for. And I know one of you recently got an award, and I'm sorry I can't remember what it was for off the top of my head. But tie it in not only for yourself, but for the company. And maybe talk about how this is going to bring more value to the company further on. Because now you have increased productivity, one of those buzzwords. Again, try to quantify it. Give me an example of a time when you were able to successfully persuade someone to see things your way. For those of you that maybe accounting, you've got to persuade someone to keep better track of their books or their mileage for tax time. Maybe for those nursing, CNAs, it's persuade someone to take their meds, follow their medication management regime, or their something for their own health. But again, try to keep it industry related. Again, when you're working on these, really try to focus them on the job you want. Not what you're currently doing, the one you want. Because the people that are interviewing you want to see how you will help them. They don't care what you did, for somebody else. You know what I'm saying. All right, tell me, I think I forgot the one about being creative. There was a question about being creative. I forgot that one to cut and paste it. The one about being creative, somebody used an example about being in grade school. No, focus again on work examples of being creative. And creative is not just drawing and writing. Creative could be how you turned a nasty customer into a coming back repeat customer. Creative could be how you got a patient to take their meds, or to brush their hair, to get up out of bed, or to eat their dinner. So think about, relook at that creative one. I'm sorry I forgot to cut and paste it. I thought I was missing something. And then tell me about a time you had to be strategic in order to meet all your top priorities. Well, I cut that one twice. That's why. All right, we already had that one. So I think I went through them all. Again, these were the behavior questions. If you do a search online for your specific industry and job you're applying for, type in interview questions for tax accountants, interview questions for small business accountants, behavioral interview questions for small business tax accountants, or whatever it is you want to do. And you will come up with lots of questions, and most of them will have the answers on how they're looking for you to answer. That's the key. Study what the hiring managers want to see. And I'm over 15 minutes here, so let me hush. Still got more grading to do. So hang in there. Take this seriously. And again, kudos to those of you that did this assignment, because not everybody did the assignment. There's still quite a few people who have not done it. Do not let fear keep you from success. As I've been saying forever, just do it afraid. I wouldn't have done half the things I've done if I let fear stop me. When I was in the Marine Corps, I used to just tell myself, I went out there doing rappelling. I don't know if any of you know what rappelling is. Out of a helicopter. We're in a helicopter. We're just hanging by a rope, and we're being drugged through the air, for better lack of terms. And right before we went, in Hawaii, a group of people had been, or not rappelling, I'm sorry, spy rigging. We were out spy rigging. Rappelling from the helicopter was the next one we double dog dared and did. But rappelling, you're coming out and down. Spy rigging, you're just being drugged. There was a helicopter, a bunch of people doing spy rigging, and the pilot crunched them into the side of a building. And I have just learned to go first and get it over with. When we did the spy rigging, it was me and one of my corporal females. The rest was all guys, and we were a male-dominated unit, of course. And I was the only highest-ranking one out there, so it was like, okay, I'm going first. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but it was like, I kept telling myself, well, can't really die or we wouldn't be doing this, you know? And so then the other one we did was the rappelling. Rappelling, you're inside, and then you're coming down a rope while it's in the air. And that one was a double dog dare, too. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to dig deep within, deep down in your stomach and in your heart, and just do it. So don't let the fear of these interview questions, yeah, you may make a fool of yourself, but you know what? Just do it. They've heard it all. They've seen worse. Just do it and practice and learn from it. So now I'm at 18 minutes. So I'm really shushing up. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.